Hello, class. This is your instructor, Miss Birchfield. This lesson, we're going to introduce polynomials and add and subtract polynomials. So what is a polynomial? Well, a polynomial is a monomial, which we'll talk about here at the bottom. A monomial is one term, or the indicated sum or difference of monomials where exponents are whole numbers. And to be a polynomial, we can't have negative exponents, rational exponents, or variables in the denominator. So just to show you some examples of non-polynomials, so if I had just like x to the negative 1 would not be a polynomial because it's got a negative exponent. What if I were to use my rule and make it a positive exponent, which it would put it in the denominator? Well, we can't have variables in the denominator, so this is still not a polynomial. And rational exponents mean we can't have exponents that are fractions. So if any of these three scenarios would make us not have a polynomial. And then also, of course, it's a monomial, indicated sum or difference. So we can have multiple terms in a polynomial. We just have to make sure the terms don't have these negative exponents, the term is not in the denominator, and then our exponent is not a fraction. So the degree of a polynomial, so when we look at polynomials, we will look at what's called the degree. The degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree of the term of a polynomial. So what we do is we look at the exponents when we talk about the degree. And once we determine the degree of a polynomial, then that term that has the highest degree will have what we call the leading coefficient. There are three special types of polynomials. We've got monomials, which is one term, binomial, two terms, trinomial, three terms. Any more than that, four terms or more, it doesn't have a special name. So these three examples, we're going to find the degree of the polynomial. So each three examples, these three are polynomials. We're going to determine if it's a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or none of these. So let's look at the first example. This first example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So how do I determine the number of terms? Well, anytime I see a plus or minus, that determines when we're going to change how many we have. So the first one, this is 1. Notice we have this minus, so that gives us this term is the second term, then this term, 4m, is the third term, and then the negative 8 is our fourth term. So this one, none of these, because there are 4 terms, and the degree of it, when we look, the exponent is a 3, 2, 1, and then any constant is always 0. So the highest degree is this term here. So the degree is 3. The second example we're going to look at, let's go ahead and determine how many terms do we have. This is 1, there's the second one, there's the third one. So we have 3 terms. So this is a trinomial. And when we look at the degree of each term, this first term, I'm going to add these exponents. So this is 4. Here we have 2. Here we have 6. So the highest of the 3 terms is going to be 6. The last one, we have 1 term. So this is a monomial. And it's a constant, the degree of a constant is just 0. And the last examples, we're going to add and subtract polynomials. So if you look at these two, this first example, so if I look at this is a binomial. I can't spell. Well, let me erase that. Let's just do binomial and a binomial. So what we're doing here is we are adding the two binomials together. So what we're going to do is combine like terms. So 14y and the negative 3y are like terms. And then 12 and the negative 5 are like terms. So this is going to give us 11y plus 12 minus 5 is 7. So then our sum is 11y plus 7. Here we have a trinomial and a trinomial that we are subtracting. Okay, so what we're going to do is subtract. So this negative, you want to think about distributing that negative to each of these terms inside. So when we combine like terms, x squared is going to be like negative 3x squared, 2x, and notice I'm going to do this negative times a negative makes that a positive 6x. And then our 1, and I'm going to distribute this negative again to the positive, so that's going to make that a negative 2. So we're going to get a negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 1 as our difference. Now we can also just kind of using what we did in the previous example. So this is a binomial with a degree of 1. Here we have a trinomial with a degree of 2. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, just let me know.